Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Florida Aviation Network. My name is Lori Bradner, and we are here at Sun and Fun 51, where we are turning up the fun. And we are broadcasting live and in the clear from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, right here on the grounds of Lakeland Linder Airport. If you have not been to Sun and Fun 51, today is your last day. So be sure that you come and see us. And I am honored today, so honored today, to have Brian deLorenzo from Piedmont. Brian, thank you for being here with us today. And Sun and Fun would not be, and the Florida Aviation Network would not be without you and without Piedmont. So if I forget to say thank you, thank you.
Well, we appreciate you having us here. Thank you
it's
so
awesome.
much.
Now, Brian, you've got like this huge, very important title at Piedmont.
Yeah.
It's a very important title. So I'm going to let you say it so I don't mess it up.
That's what they tell me.
Anyway. So what is your role at Piedmont?
Yeah, so I'm the manager of flight operations recruiting at Piedmont Airlines.
Okay, and what does that do? What is your job, Brian? What is your role?
Yeah, so I oversee the recruiting team. I have a large team of recruiters and admin, and my team, we do all the hiring for kind of anything to do with the flight side of things. Pilots, flight attendants, dispatchers, schedulers, any flight positions. We're responsible for getting great candidates, getting them in the door.
Now, where are you based, Brian? Do you stay home or do you travel? How does that work with recruiting?
Yeah, so the recruiters are remote workers. So
Okay.
everybody kind of works from home, but on the road a lot.
Okay.
I'm based in Virginia, have an office in Charlotte, so we go to Charlotte quite a bit. So Charlotte is kind of where we are based out of, but we do so much traveling that recruiters are all over the country all year long.
Well, I tell you what, and we know we've talked before, these are exciting times. These
Yeah.
are definitely exciting times. And again, thank you, because everything, I know Piedmont, you're a huge sponsor. Piedmont is a huge sponsor here. We've got that beautiful jet. It's got Piedmont.
Yeah.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's out there for
Yeah.
everybody to see. But I know you do a tremendous amount for Sun and Fun, not only, and it's not a one and done.
Right.
You don't just do one and done.
Right.
You're not just Piedmont for Sun and Fun, but you do a lot of other things. It's really, I know for the Florida Aviation Network, but also for Sun, it's year round. Can you talk a little bit about the things that you sponsor? One that's coming up this summer that's huge
Yeah.
for Sun and Fun.
Yeah, we are a large sponsor here. I mean, we realize, it's easy to come to Sun and Fun and see all the folks here, and this is really, really important to sponsor. Here we sponsor the career fair.
Right.
We have another booth, but yeah, the year-round sponsorship is really important to us.
Okay.
And the thing you mentioned coming up, the summer camps.
Yes.
And one of the other things we love to do, the Polar Express.
Nice.
Yeah, so we send crew members
didn't
down for
even
the.
know that.
Oh
That's
yeah, you have
awesome.
to make it up to that sometime.
I do.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's really awesome. So we send crew members and recruiters down for the Polar Express. But yeah, there's events going on here on campus all year long, and we're proud to be able to sponsor that.
Well, let me ask, because you said that, I know this year at Sun and Fun, Piedmont sponsored the career fair.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, can you want to talk a little bit about that? How did it go? And then also, I want to talk about, in two different ways, talk a little bit about the pilot pipeline and the programs that Piedmont offers. Was that a focus for the career fair, or can you, I guess that's like 5 questions wrapped into one, but can you start there about that pipeline and then the career fair? How did
Yeah,
that go?
so the career fair is over in the Flight and Futures Center,
Right.
just down the way here. Separate tent kind of for the folks that are seriously looking for a position.
How was it attended?
It was amazing.
Okay.
We were comparing this year with last year, and I don't have the numbers yet, but
Okay.
it was extremely, extremely busy. A lot of folks coming in there, dropping off resumes, talking to the
Nice.
recruiters. And it's not just pilots. We talk a lot about pilots because we're always looking for pilots. But yeah, we've had folks come in and talk about flight attendant positions and maintenance positions. So yeah, all the things. So that great crowds in there. Spent a lot of time engaging folks in there. And then we also have a booth over in the hangar, and that's a little bit more family. The families come by, and we're famous for the swag. So we always have the best swag. We've got some real nice straw hats.
Which hangar are you in? I have to ask
Yeah,
so that our
come.
viewers, when they come, because if they haven't been here, Brian, they need to come because it is the last day of Sun and Fun.
It is.
And so what hangar are you in?
We're in A, booth 42,
Okay.
and we have some really awesome straw hats. Nice sun hats. So
I think
yeah,
I'm gonna have to swing by.
You definitely
I've
have
got
to
to get
swing
myself
by.
a straw hat.
You
I would
have to
love
swing
it.
by,
I would
but-
love it. Now talk a little bit I want to talk a little bit about the programs that you offer. You've got obviously two major areas we talk about is, A&P and the mechanics, because you can't fly without them.
Right.
And then also the pilot program. So can you talk a little bit about what Piedmont does and those programs, those pipelines and the programs that are built to help people that might be interested, because it's not just for new people, but maybe career changers?
Yeah,
we were talking a little bit about that before we started.
Yeah, it's kind of all the above. So I can kind of start with the pipeline programs. We have a really amazing maintenance pipeline program.
Okay.
It's called the tuition payment program. So you apply for the program, and you have no certifications. You don't have your A&P, which is airframe and power point.
Just an interest.
Just an interest. You want to be a mechanic, we'll talk to you.
Okay.
Tuition payment program, where you come in, you interview, you get selected for that, and we pay for your certifications. You come out of that, and you come and work for Piedmont. You have a job waiting for you. So pretty selective. It's open right now. It's about to close. But anybody who's interested in that, just kind of keep an eye on our website and see when that opens back up.
What is the website, Brian? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Oh, of course
you do.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Piedmont-Airlines.com.
Okay, so anyone that's interested, and for that particular program, that is still open.
It's open right now. Again, it's winding down. So,
okay.
But it's kind of rolling. It'll be open again. So just keep track of that if you're interested in the maintenance side. And we get a lot of interesting maintenance folks. Folks that maybe have always had an interest in working in cars or just kind of mechanically inclined, and they often don't think about, the aviation industry is a good place to be. We need mechanics.
They don't, when they come to Piedmont, they don't have to have any experience.
Well, when they get to us, when they join the pipeline program.
But when they in the pipeline, so when they apply, they don't just an interest.
Correct.
A passion and an interest.
Passion and an interest, and we'll get you the schooling. We'll pay for the schooling, get you all the certifications, and you'll have a job waiting for you when you're done. Get all your tests done, and you come right to Piedmont.
Right. Now, what about the other side of the coin?
Yeah, so the pilot pipeline program, and a lot of folks, we get a lot of folks coming by the career fair and think, I don't have enough time, and they don't realize that we have a pipeline program where you can enter into our cadet program with 500 hours. So you need your commercial multi-engine with 500 hours. Yeah, that's it. And the way that works is you interview, you come into the cadet program, and then you just go build time. We give you some money to do that. We financially support you. Give you $10,000 up front, and then you report your hours to us every month, and we continually give you checks along the way. Okay. You build your time until you get to your ATP minimums, which is what you need to fly in the airline world. Right. Once you get those minimums, you have a guaranteed class waiting for you. You come on board as a first officer. And in addition to that, we also, because we're wholly owned by American Airlines, we have an automatic contractual flow to American Airlines with no second interview. So you come to Piedmont as a first officer through the cadet program at 500 hours, and you'll end up at American Airlines.
And you know what? That is so worth its weight in gold. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about any kind of education program, to know that you're going to go through the program, and really, if I'm hearing you correctly, and correct me, you are guaranteed, as long as you do well, as long as you're meeting all the requirements, exceeding expectations, we always want to do our best, these individuals in both pipelines are guaranteed a job.
Yeah, guaranteed a job. So you have the interest, you don't know where to get started. We're just looking for people that are willing to put the time in and work hard, be good employees, and we'll take care of you at Piedmont.
It sounds to me, we always talk about aviation, and certainly Sun and Fun and Florida Aviation Network. And I think this is why that partnership with Piedmont is so good, because it sounds like you're building a family. You take care of your people.
We absolutely do.
Piedmont takes care of your people.
We're really proud, and we talk to everybody that comes through the booth, kind of what makes Piedmont different. It really is about our culture. We really take care of one another. We mentor you all the way through the process. We make sure the job is going good for you, and we'll get you a spot in the family.
How is the over the year? Because I know in the position, how's the growth? What are you seeing? What are the trends, and what are you seeing?
Yeah, so we're like I mentioned, we're regionally a regional airline for American Airlines. We're wholly owned by American, and our growth has been unbelievable. It's in June this summer we'll be doing some of the most flying we've done as a company out of Charlotte specifically. A lot of flying out of there, but we continue to grow, and it goes right back to the support of the pipeline programs. We know how important that is. That's the future. We need to continue to grow. And that's why we spend so much time and effort and mentoring and monetary support, all these pipeline programs, because it's extremely important.
Now, when you do the recruiting, obviously you've got career fairs here, the air shows, Sun and Fun. I know that you've got a huge presence at Oshkosh Air Venture. That's huge. But I also, before we were talking about that, you and your recruiting team, maybe not you yourself as the manager, but your recruiting teams, you actually go into colleges.
We do.
You were recently at Embry-Riddle, am I correct?
Correct.
Where, just for our viewers, again, that might be interested, where are some of your next stops? So if they are interested, maybe they didn't get to see you. Maybe they didn't get to Sun and Fun. Can't believe they didn't come. But I can't believe it. But maybe they didn't get here. But where are you going to be, and what are some of your next stops? Where are you headed?
Yeah, so I can mention a few of them, but I really would encourage folks to keep track of the website. I mean, engagement is important, right? If you're out there, we all know in the aviation world that networking is important, engagement is important. So getting your face in front of recruiters and talking the talk and learning about the job. Some of the things we have coming up, I know we're going to Memphis next month. We're doing the Pilot Network. That's in Minneapolis. We'll be out there doing that. Liberty University will be at. University of North Dakota is coming up.
They've got a huge program.
Huge program.
Huge program out there. Okay.
Yeah, and then we're doing the Jacksonville Naval Air Show in June. Veterans, we support the veterans and helping veterans get on board, so we try and do as many military events as we can do as well.
Career change.
Career change, exactly. Yeah, we get a lot of folks coming out of the military, good employees, lots of good experience, so we try and focus on our veterans out there as well.
Now let me ask you, for anyone that would be interested in either one of the programs, people that you talk to, if you had to give a piece of advice, obviously we kind of have an inside scoop. I've got the inside scoop for our viewers. What is Piedmont looking for? Because obviously someone like myself, I come to you, I don't have any experience with mechanics. I just have an interest. But what is Piedmont really looking for? What are some of those pearls of wisdom? If you could give anybody hints, tips, tricks, as they come in to speak to your recruiters, what would that be?
And we label that the soft skills, okay?
Yes.
You may be the best pilot or the best mechanic in the world, but what are we looking for? And like I mentioned with the culture and the family, we're really looking for good employees. I say it all the time, when we interview somebody, we're not just interviewing you to make sure you're a good fit for us. We want to make sure we're a good fit for you. So we review what the company is, the culture, what we're looking for, good employees, good soft skills, good communication skills, really just able to get along in a family atmosphere.
What attracted you to Piedmont?
Just that. I did my research when I was looking for an airline to join, and that's what really drew me in with Piedmont. We do a lot. You see Piedmont in a lot of small communities all over the country, doing a lot of little support things and recruiters showing up at different events. And I really liked the fact that, we know aviation is important, you've got to be able to do the job, but those secondary skills of being involved in the community, volunteering, we have some great employee resource groups where they'll just, our employees will go into the community and do all kinds of different volunteering events. And that's kind of what drew me to it, to be honest with you.
Really?
It was just seems like a wholesome company.
I've never asked you this, and I hope you don't mind me asking, putting you on the spot. How long have you been with Piedmont?
Yeah, so I joined Piedmont in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And
couldn't be happier.
And couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
And we were saying too, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
It's great. I have a great team of recruiters. They make my life pretty easy. They're always willing to travel. They're really engaging. A lot of fun to watch them in the booth. And having those people skills and those relationships are important, and so we pride ourselves on that.
Do you get to fly for fun?
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah. I have a little, I'm in general aviation. I have a little Cessna Cardinal that I buzz around in. So
nice.
Yeah,
Did you bring it in?
I did not bring it in.
Oh, okay. I had to ask.
Did not.
Did you fly in? Is it parked here?
I had a lot of stuff to bring in. I don't think I could fit that in the Cardinal.
You had the swag.
I had the swag.
You had the swag. And again, that's in Hangar A.
A42.
A42. Let me ask you, because I know we're getting ready to close out Sun and Fun 51. You've been here, you've come many years.
Many years.
Many years here. Piedmont has been just, and I want to say you've been a pillar. And again, on behalf of Sun and Fun, everybody here, and those of us here at Florida Aviation Network, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your passion, and thank you for supporting us. What are your impressions this year? I mean, I can tell you being out and about, I honestly would say record crowds.
It feels it. It really does feel it. But it seems like we say that every year. But again, literally driving in today, I was like, it just seems like there were a lot of people here. A lot of, good-natured people. How about the weather?
It's Florida.
It's Florida, yeah.
Yes,
but
yes.
I don't think we had any rain.
No, and comparatively to the Midwest and the nightmare that they're in right now. Yeah,
right.
no, that is it. And I want to, I'm going to go back, if it's all right. I'm going to switch gears on you. I'm going to go back because obviously we broadcast live from CFAA. And as you can see, we've got a lot of young people behind, some that are in college, some that are in high school. I know that you're supporting Piedmont as a pillar and a support here at Sun and Fun for all of the programs that they run. That pipeline, does Piedmont have anything specific for high school students? Schools like CFAA, I know that in Hillsborough they've got schools where they're trying to grow that next, whether it be A&P or pilots. Does that pipeline, does it have tendrils that reach all the way into the high schools, or are you mainly focused on the colleges?
No, we try and spend a fair amount of time in the high schools, and the maintenance team specifically spends a lot of time in high schools and going and just engaging students and just letting them know about the aviation industry. A lot of folks don't think of that, as they're in high school, they don't think that that's something they can do. So yeah, we spend a lot of time in high schools. Again, the earlier we can get the folks, the better.
Any affiliation with the Civil Air Patrol, of course, near and dear to my heart, the Young Eagles flights, what about the EAA, the chapters of the EAA? Does Piedmont, is there partnerships there as well? Because you said you do a lot of community.
There are. Young Eagles, we're a lot of chapters all over the country we support, even from attending their events to supplying swag to different events just to get young folks involved in it. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, we do it all over the country.
That's awesome, Brian. And I know, and let me ask you, because we do want to reach those younger viewers. We talked about those people that would be coming in, career changers, people our age that would be going into the career fairs. What would your piece of advice be as a mentor, as a teacher, as a recruiter? What would you say to those students, those high school students in CAP, those students in high school, Young Eagles, what do you say to them? Yeah,
it's tough because you have to figure out how to get into it. But my piece of it, and I love speaking to young folks. That's my favorite thing to do. I have parents come by the booth with their children that they have no idea what they have to do it. And my piece of advice is just slow down, enjoy the journey. From a pilot standpoint, we know that getting check rides, you're just constantly trying to get there as quick as you can. And I always say, just slow down, make sure you're studying hard, make sure, your driving record can come into play, make sure you're thinking ahead, hanging with the right crowds, that type thing. But just slow down, don't be in a hurry, enjoy the journey, be successful, work hard. Some of those training failures can follow you all the way through. So you want to make sure the day your check ride, make sure you're ready to go.
I'm glad you said that. We had another guest, Brian, that actually made a comment, was asked the same question. He happens to be an examiner, and he does medicals. And sometimes he does difficult cases, but we asked him, what about the young people? And he said, medically, no problem. It's the discipline, it's the drugs, it's the alcohol, it's the good choices. So thank you for reiterating that, because I think it's something that people need to hear.
Yeah, you don't think about that, but how you drive a car. If you drive a car poorly, how are you going to operate an airplane?
Exactly.
Important stuff.
Yeah, okay, I probably should have you say that again because my son is behind the camera. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, yeah, exactly. I point right at him, looking right at the camera. Anyway, Brian, I could talk to you all day long.
Oh, I appreciate
am
it.
so glad to have you back. Thank you
so much for
everything.
Thank you.
And again, on behalf of the Florida Aviation Network, on behalf of Sun and Fun, thank you, Piedmont, for all that you do for us and for all that you do for all our communities, seriously. My name is Lori Bradner. I'm with the Florida Aviation Network. We are broadcasting live and in the clear at Sun and Fun 51, where we are turning up the fun. If you haven't been here, you've got one day more. Today is it. come see us at Sun and Fun. We look forward to seeing you here.